A Russian girl suspected of being an Islamic State recruit is now back in Moscow facing questioning. She was arrested on the Turkey-Syria border after being reported missing by her family. A notorious UK migrant detention centre provides inmates with yoga classes and multicultural food. But we hear from one detainee who explains why indefinite detention is the real issue facing inmates. And as the world's elite gather for their annual secretive meeting known as the Bildeberg Group, here on RT we get a rare glimpse behind the scenes. Welcome to your headlines here on RT International. I'm Rory Souchet from the entire news team here. Thanks for joining. The lawyer of a Russian girl suspected of being a jihadist recruit says she's now a witness in a case on exactly how Islamic State is pressuring young people to join its ranks. This comes as security services arrest an alleged ISIL recruiter in St. Petersburg. More details now with RT correspondent Murad Gazdiev.
When the cops come calling, you better open the door. Meet the young man on the floor, 24-year-old Ilyas Kagirov. A failing Naval Academy student on his way to expulsion, and more ominously, a suspected Islamic State recruiter. Not that his girlfriend would agree.
We never discussed Syria or the Islamic State. He has never exerted religious pressure on me.
Ilyas was being tracked by law enforcers for a year before his arrest. But sometimes radical recruiters do meet success. This is 19-year-old philosophy student Varvara Karaulova, who was caught on the Syrian border, presumably trying to join the Islamic State. Her father never saw it coming.
I may sound irrational, but while I was there, I was in complete oblivion, which is perhaps typical of parents. I wanted to believe that all her words were true.
From the embracing arms of her loving father, straight into the arms of the law back in Moscow.
The police want to hear Varvara Karaulova's explanation about her journey to Turkey and Syria.
While this young Muslim convert failed, many volunteers do make it across the border and do join up with terrorist groups, making the hunt for recruiters all the more urgent. Murad Gazdiev, RT.
Authorities in the United Kingdom think they have found a way of detecting extremism. Software that monitors key words relating to so-called terrorist vocabulary is now being sold to schools across the country. It's looking for terms like jihadi bride and jihobbyist or yodo, which means you die only once. The anti-radicalization software is being rolled out ahead of the Counter-Terrorism and Security Act, which comes into force next month. And British peer Lord Ahmed, a campaigner for Islamic issues, says the Muslim community is being singled out under brand new surveillance laws.
British intelligence services actually gave a confidential report to the government to say that there is no one single avenue for people to become extremists or terrorists. So to monitor children actually is to demonize a particular community. And I feel as a Muslim that we have now become the targeted community like the Jewish communities were before the Second World War.
Well, the response to new counter-terror legislation has varied from one school to another. One of them is even introducing workshops for parents to spot the early signs of radicalization. Lord Ahmed believes the government has misdiagnosed the problem of extremism.
There's absolute no doubt that there are some people who are extremist, but sadly, because of the events in Syria, Iraq, Afghanistan, which were not started by the Muslims, by the way, the illegal wars that have taken place in Iraq and Afghanistan, some people have become radicalized, and some people have been used through the internet by extremist groups. But that doesn't mean that you just label the entire community. Is it justified to monitor 7-9-year-old children and to talk about violence and ask them questions, or to give them ideas of using violence against another because of your faith or because you disagree with their political ideas. This is all madness, and really it needs to stop.
But many Western nations don't seem to see the connection between foreign campaigns and radicalization. The Pentagon is now considering setting up more US bases to train local Iraqi forces. We'll give that some assessment this hour. Also, a threat to hospital patients in America, where hackers are now reportedly able to control life-saving medicine pumps. The story's just ahead.